Alright, welcome to part 2 of Intranet 101. We're up to creating, so we're in Site Actions Create. And what we're going to do first is create a document library. So under the libraries, we're going to choose Document Library. And basically you have to name it. That's all you really have to do. So I'm going to call mine Document 1. Just don't name it the same thing. We shouldn't have those issues with clashing again. And then it asks a question, do you want to display this on the quick launch? Now the quick launch is that thing that was on the previous page that, I'll go back to it, this area here. That's called our quick launch. And some people really like it because it's a whole lot of quick links and they're all categorized, but some people don't like it. I don't particularly like it. I tend to get rid of it, but it is useful if you've got a lot of stuff on your site to keep it all tidy. So I'm going to go back to create so that we can all see where that's going to appear. So document 1, and I'm going to say yes, put it on my quick launch, and then this bit is really not relevant. You don't have to think about it, you just have to go with the defaults. So I'm going to click create. And it kicks me straight into Document 1, Document Library on PlaySite. And you can always see your path of where you are at the top. So that says Tara Intranet, and then arrow PlaySite, and then arrow Document 1. So I'm in the Document 1 library, on the PlaySite, on the intranet. Okay, and I can click any of those as links to go back to other places. I'm now going to go to upload, and I'm going to go to upload multiple because I want to show you some things have changed a little bit. Upload multiple documents. Right. It used to be that you had to then set up a link to an area that you wanted to upload from and then tick a whole lot of things and click upload. This has decided that now we can drag and drop, which is pretty exciting. But it's one of those things that you really cannot do in another browser. You must be in Internet Explorer. So I can resize that window, get rid of my YouTube window, and I can go into my documents. And I'm just going to grab some things from my training folder. Okay, grab and drop. Done! How easy was that? Yeah, so you can grab multiple, you can grab one from 5 different places. One here, one there, drop into the window. And that's all you have to do. I haven't actually done photos this year, but I expect it will happen for photos. We'll go and have a look now, hey? Right. So that's how easy it is to upload a document into a document library. Interestingly, the Windows 7 operating system uses the same wording now. So you'll notice that it's not called your My Documents folder anymore. It's called your document library. So that means that they interface better, the SharePoint and Windows. Now, another thing I want to show you once this is done, people often ask me how to delete things. Now, the most important part of how to delete is that you must be in this view of the documents. So you can, if I go back to that PlaySite, see my document library here, document 1. If I click on that, I get to this view. So if it's showing on that front page, and I'll show you how to do that, you can't delete on that front page. But you can delete here. So if I go to Moodle training and say, whoops, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have put that there, I can click on that drop down, the little black arrow, and click delete. And it will say, am I sure? And I guess I'm pretty sure, so okay. And there it goes, gone, and gone forever. So don't do that, willy-nilly. But at the beginning of the year, when all your ATBs are from last year, it's a really good idea. But you might want to do a lot at a time, and there is a really cool trick in Internet Explorer, which is to go to Actions and go to Open with Windows Explorer. So use your own document library that you've created or your picture library and go open it and go to Actions, Open with Windows Explorer. And it opens it up in a window like my normal My Documents window, which means that I can select multiple, delete them, I can drag and drop into here, I can edit in here, I can do anything I want in this window, and it will save it just like it's a normal folder on your own machine. It's just become a networked folder, kind of like our S drive. Right, now some of you have jumped ahead and that's fantastic. We're going to go and have a look at how to do a picture library. So it's almost exactly the same, but as Darren's worked out, it doesn't have quite the same nice drag and drop interface, but there are ways around it. So if I go to Site Actions, Create, and I go to Picture Library, I'm going to call it Picture 1. And same thing. Do I want it on the quick launch? Yes, I do. I don't really want a version, so don't worry about that. That's default. And the same thing, we can upload a picture or we can upload multiple pictures from here. But as we discovered earlier, if we open with Windows Explorer, it brings up that big folder, and we can then open a second window which has our pictures in it. Go find some. And then with these windows beside each other, we just have to grab the ones we want and drop them on. And it even says 6 images to be copied. And just once it goes through, it's done. Okay. Okay, upload multiple pictures doesn't work the same as that lovely drag and drop interface, but this, thank you, go away. Alright, so I would have to add a picture shortcut. If the pictures that I want aren't in My Pictures, this is the fiddly bit. This is why I use Windows Explorer to do it. Then I would have to say, okay, I have a folder, it's got pictures in it, just add it to my list. So I can go Documents, 2010, I have a whole lot of pictures in my intranet page. I don't think it's there. Intranet. That's a good question. You can add video. There are 2 ways to add video. There's the way where you just upload it into a document library as if it was a document or a picture, and then people can view it, but they can't view it in the browser. It then downloads to their machine and they open it as they would any other video. You can embed video onto the intranet, and I've done that with on the blog. You might have seen I had a tutorial that I embedded, and that's a lot more fiddly, so it probably need me. So you can give me a video and I can then code it for the intranet. It does depend on the size of the video. You don't want to have an enormous video streaming across the whole of a year of kids. but we've done it for sport before. They had a dance choreography that they needed everybody to see.
So it was like 2 gigabytes.
2 gig is fairly big. I'd have to have a look at how it was going to behave. All right. The last thing, we've only got a couple. The last thing is to show you how to get some of this stuff displaying on that front page. So if I go back to Play Site and go to Site Actions, Edit Page, and add a web part, we now find that all of those document libraries and picture libraries that we added are in the list. They're in our libraries list. So we can just check the ones we want to show. So I want Picture 1, Year 10, and maybe Camp. And I add them. And then they add in a default view. Now there are ways to change these views, but it's probably beyond the scope of this lesson. But I can post some slightly more advanced tutorials on the blog, and then you can use them as on an as needs basis. So pictures don't display terribly nicely as a default because they have their name and their picture size, and it's all a bit ugly. There's better ways to display those. But the document libraries do display quite well. And so you can see that you can add a new document from this front page. What you can't do, as I discussed earlier, is you cannot delete from this page. This is just really, if you imagine that your documents and stuff are stored inside a house, this is us peering at them through the window, and in order to get at them, we have to go through the door. So we either have to follow these links down the left-hand side, or each of these titles on the main page has become a link to that back area. So if I click on Picture 1, I now see Picture 1, and I can do that deleting and modifying and renaming and all of that stuff that you want to be able to do. You have to be in this view. But I think that's all I wanted to cover this morning. Is there anything that's a burning question for anybody? Yeah, I'm going to leave the play site up. Go take some time, have a muck around. You're not going to break anything. There's nobody looking. Nobody's looking, and nobody's waiting for that ATB to be posted. It's all just play time. So go and have a play. Thank you for coming this morning.